Next morning, we got up, did our thing.
For a long hike.
What, 7 miles?
7 miles, it doesn't sound super long.
We tend
but
to do
tough miles.
We tend to do more than 7 miles in a day. But it's going to point out, like, everything on the presidential range is like boulder pavement. You're scrambling over big rocks everywhere. Our boots really show it. We usually put in a lot more miles than we did on this trip. The 7 miles from Lake of the Clouds to the last hut, Madison, was a long.
Tough 7 miles.
It was a long day. We went up. We did Mount Washington, which is worth doing, but it's very busy up there. It's crazy busy up there. There's a cog railway that brings people to the top.
Oh, and it's coal-fired?
It's coal-fired, so
I didn't love that.
I didn't like the smell of the coal as we're climbing the mountain. And there's also a road that goes up there. They call it the Auto Road. It brings people up by shuttle, and you can bring your own vehicle up there. So the top is kind of neat, but it's crowded. It's full of people. Yeah, just coming down Mount Washington after summiting up there. Full of people. Very interesting, very different. So it's a different experience, but yeah, fun nonetheless. And there's a lineup to get your picture taken at the at the actual summit point. So we walked past that. We weren't going to wait in line for that. But
filled up our water bottles.
Filled up our water bottles. Got rehydrated.
Headed back out.
Headed back out. Crossed the cog railway line.
And then proceeded to walk up Mount Clay.
Mount Clay, President Clay. Clay's kind of cool. It's very deceiving on the map. It looks like a nice gradual little mound, but it's actually, and it looks easy, but it's not. It's actually 3 little peaks, and each peak is, you know, several hundred feet elevation gain, and it's deceiving that after you've gone up and down each of those, you're pretty tired. Here's our route for this afternoon. Mount Clay, Mount Jefferson, Mount Adams, Madison Hut is down here, and that's Mount Madison right there. We'll probably do that tomorrow. Hey, we're on top of Mount Clay, right after Mount Washington, which you should see in the background. We've got Mount Jefferson ahead of us, and then maybe Mount Adams, but it's getting late in the day. We might go around Adams instead. Adams looks like a mean president from here. And the people ahead of us said it's a really tough climb up there, so maybe we'll do it tomorrow, maybe we'll do it today, who knows.
But we marched on. We
marched on. We were getting late. It is almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Madison Hut is 3.7 miles away. So, I think we're going to skip both Jackson and Adams today. We're going to run those mountains. I think it's the right choice. We'll try and get to the hut with a little bit of time to rest before supper. We're getting late in the day, so we skirted around Jefferson and Adams.
Skirting around a mountain is not necessarily a cakewalk.
It's not a cakewalk. Jefferson in particular kicked us around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of scrambling, just tons of scrambling. Not, you know, many times you're thinking, I'm not actually hiking, I'm scrambling. This is the trail. We got to get around Adams, the other side of that, is where our hut is for the evening. Mount Jefferson behind us. Look how steep this is. Incredible views today. Well, Washington and Jefferson are behind me now. One more little pass here, and it's a quick mile down to the hut around Mount Adams. That's Mount Adams up there. This trail is so rugged. Whew. Yeah, and most well-groomed trails, like the Spear hiking trail, I can do 15, 16 miles a day. I'm not the fastest hiker in the world, but I can cover some ground. Up here though, with this rugged trail, more like 7. We've hiked all day. It's going to be 7 miles. And here comes Carrie. I'm always glad to see her when she catches up. She's having a hard time with the rocks today. One more mile.
Woohoo!
Downhill. Hey, I want to show you this trail. It's awesome. That is the trail. The trail here is actually really nice. It's gone to the effort, taken a lot of time to make the trail smooth, put the rocks flat. Very nice. It's a lot of work. Well, how many times have I said almost there? There's a sign up here, and I think when I get there it'll be 0.3 miles to the hut. Carrie's having a rough day. She's caught her second wind, but she's had a tough time on these rocks today. And I'm doing all right. Just been a long day on the trail for me. It's one of those days where, you know, you look for every little gain at the end of the day to pick up your spirits, have that last drink of water that you've been saving, whatever. I think when I get to that sign up here, we will be 300 meters away. Sorry, not metric. I think when I get to that sign up here, we will be 0.3 miles from the hut. Almost there. Now that is a welcome sight. Awesome. You can see the hut, 0.3 miles away. We'll make it for supper. So yeah, we met a lot of thru hikers on our trip. Most of them pretty cool guys or gals, and they're doing bigger miles than we were.
Oh, I'm amazed at how quickly a human can go over that stuff.
Now most of these folks are 30 years younger than us, and I get it.
More fit.
More fit, but good for them.
Practiced.
So as we're getting down into our last hut, Munroe, we run into this guy who's caught up with us. And he was coming from 302 Road.
Where we started.
So we're on our 3rd day, pulling in late to our 3rd hut, and he skipped those 2 huts all in one day and was coming to the same hut we were. Very impressive, very, very impressive.
He was running on the rocks.
He was running, and we talked for a bit, and I said, like, where are you going? He goes, Madison. I said, oh, we are too. He goes, yeah, I'm bad, man. I'm not gonna make. I'm having a hard time.
We are too.
I said, so we are too. And he just passed us. He said, I'm running on fumes, dude.
Yeah.
And nice little story. What happened was, so he was hoping for work for stay. The thru hikers are young and don't have a lot of money in their pockets, and they're taking months off at a time to do the Appalachian Trail.
And you can't camp above tree line.
You can't camp above tree line, so he was really hoping to get a work for stay. The first few hikers that show up and ask for that get assigned some work. They get a meal and they get to sleep on the floor in the dining room. And so that was he was hoping for that. He was hoping they wouldn't push him on to the next campsite because he didn't think he could make it. So let's bring this story around. Earlier, we sort of teamed up with a family. Really great story. We'll tell you that in a minute. But one of the guys in this family had a reservation at the hut, and he canceled it. He switched his plans around. He called ahead and said, "Give my bunk and my meals to the first thru hiker who walks through the door." And guess who that was? It was this dude who like went like, I don't know, 15 miles or something. And
was he happy?
He was so happy. He was thrilled. It was karma. It was awesome. So I was really happy for that. And turns out tonight, that family and that hiker are going to be at the very last hut. So that should be good. Hopefully they get to meet each other. Yeah, what are we going to talk about now?
Okay, so we're on our last hut, right?
Our last
that
hut.
was my favorite hut of all three of them.
Yeah.
We got bunk beds that we got to go right on the top, but there's three sets of bunks.
So we got there kind of late at Madison, and we got a really cool pair of bunk beds. I looked around in our room. It's first come, first serve. You get there, you find the bunk you like, you throw something on it to claim it, and everybody else has to have second pick. So we prefer to be close to each other, but I was looking around, didn't think we would be, and then I climbed the ladder and look, and I find two bunks like treehouse style, sort of shared. There's a divider in between to hold your gear, but anyway, it was nice. We had like a treetop bunk.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was good.